We want a moment.
You got my email.
Yes, I do.
I'm screwed. So when we're ready, we'll start.
I'm ready when you're ready.
Okay, I'm ready. This is a winging it class. I don't do classes like this. Are you involved in this? Or you just
I'm just watching.
observing? You want to come closer? I only bite on request. So. Is that I only bite when asked. We're told, depending on who you are. I'm Kevin. You got your name.
Hello.
This is Bella, my lovely assistant. Actually, the first class that I did was where I met you. So
Oh, that was
this is
your
gonna be
first?
The second class.
Okay.
Yeah, usually I teach people how to use all this shit. The handouts, I have a little PowerPoint presentation, but I'm kind of a technological idiot, so it didn't come out real well. I did get the text. So that's kind of what we're going to go through today is where the rest of them.
Oh, there.
I'm going to make me get my old chart set so I can see what I can read. But basically, we're just going to go through the basics. Solomon is going to be our demo model today. I wasn't sure that we were going to have 3 hours or an hour. I thought this was your lunchtime, so I thought maybe we'd have like an hour presentation afterwards. But apparently we had the entire 3 hours. So at some point, I think we're going to suspend Solomon because it's a cat. Is that Rachel?
No, Rachel's not
Yeah,
here.
because it's a cafe, we're going to use food to, just so he doesn't want to go to the plate. That's what I told Pup earlier on the way out because we didn't have the time. How many people know what a harness is? Or about? Oh, shit. Damn. That's what it is. Basically, what I call these things, these are all what I call pretty boy gay boy harnesses. It's all to go out and look at the part in public. Most of these were built for friends of mine or for me. How many of you have seen one? Was it decorated? Was it plain?
A few different types.
One of the hottest ones that actually it was pretty hot guy, but one of the hottest ones I ever saw was simply this. Okay? And all you do is you just pop them on. And you're done. From an aesthetic standpoint, it actually looks kind of hot depending on who's wearing it or how it's built on the person, but it also has a functional factor too. It can actually be suspended or something like this. Everything I use is belt grade leather. And if you want to see it, I have a portable sling out in the truck. All you need is a real good solid ceiling joist. You put a bolt in it, and literally 436 pounds. There were 3 of us hanging from it for about 30 minutes, just to see if it can sustain the weight. It's 4-inch, 13-ounce leather. Pretty much belt leather. The basics of a harness. Now, see, I get a little cocky. So, what's the fetishist going to do with the harness? If you're going to build a harness, you have to decide what you want it to look like, not just from your perspective, building it from your client, your sub, your whatever model. Is there going to be a model or not?
I don't know. Whatever works.
I'll think so. I got a really foul mind. But you have to decide how you want it to look. A couple of pieces. One of my favorites we actually made for, Daddy Donald.
Yes.
Okay? He was actually supposed to use this for IML competition. And all he really wanted, it was more of a showpiece. What he really wanted was both nipples enclosed and the belly button enclosed. I had kind of designed this originally to go around the back, and we weren't sure how we were going to get this affixed to Daddy without sticking it in his ass crack. So what I decided was that what I'm going to do is just make one big solid strap instead of 2 here. So essentially, it's going to have one piece coming down to another ring and another piece going up the back. It's just fast around. Nobody's really worn it, so don't be worried about bacteria. If you're rubbing alcohol in the truck. But you have to decide what you want the piece to look like in your head. You can go from a basic body harness to just about anything. How you want it to feel, what function do you want it to serve? Do you want it to be a showpiece? Do you want it to be a competition piece? Do Do you want it to be a suspension piece? I mean, these are all things that you have to take into account. Pretty much any one of these pieces, aside from the 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch leather, can be used for suspension. Okay, just to suspend somebody in the middle of the air. Okay, or whatever. Where would you prefer? Where would you prefer? Off the lift of the AT&T truck we saw on the way up here?
That sounds good. That's yeah.
You met him here. So you have to decide how you want the piece to look. Some of these pieces were just like on the fly. I do everything on the fly, by hand, however I want to do it. So what I do is I go to this little shop and I find these little pieces. These are actually for horse and bridle, saddle gear, tack shop, stuff like that. So I'll get something in my head how I want it to look, and then I'll work on designing it. And I waste a lot of leather doing this. Okay. There is a book that I've used in the last several years that is, it was in here. Just pass it around. It's a real basic guide to simple parts of constructing different things with leather and stuff like that. So when your imagination takes hold and you get this piece in your head, you get something stuck in your head, this is what I want to do, or you're doing it for somebody else, this is what they want, you know, because I have to work with people. This piece for Donald, I had to work with. How do you want this? How do you want that? There were like 9 fittings before we actually got it to him before IML, which it didn't take. There are some issues going on. But anyway, it's a lot of trial and error process. For me, it's fun because I love to play with this stuff. When I get striped, I own my own company. I think people's homes all day. We comment people and get stressed because they think they're special and they have needs that are more special than yours. That's the best way I can put it. So I get stressed a lot. When I get stressed, when I go home, I just start tearing into this stuff, banging down and sawing up, whatever. However I want to do it, I do a lot of this stuff by hand. Okay, so it is a physical release. So you get the design in your head. You can put it on paper. You can just keep it in your head. You can put it out on the table with leather, whatever. That's where the design actually starts to come along in your head. It actually starts to become reality once you get it on something. That's all we're doing with it. Has anybody ever worn one? Besides you, I knew you were going to say this. I can see you over there. How did it feel?
Pretty simple, wasn't really tight.
You feel like the inside of the line below?
Sort of, yeah.
This is the leather that I use for most of my harness pieces. This is actually probably about a quarter of what's left of the full hide that I bought for about $90. This little piece of leather I have on, I bought, I think at Walmart. It's very pretty, colorful, and stuff. But it's actually about a 7-ounce piece of leather. That stuff is pretty durable. It holds up really well. I forget exactly which part of the cow it is. I think inside that book it'll tell you. 13 to 15 to 17 ounce leather comes from a certain part of the cow. Years ago, I used to actually work with unfinished hide. I used to finish it myself. And then when I found this lovely little candy leather company down in Southeast and Louisville, I stopped having to work with plain leather. That's about an 7 8 ounce piece of hide. I used to cut the strips by hand with a razor and a straight edge. Now I use what's called the strap cutter. You can set it up to 6 inches, or 1/4 inch, 8 inch. Did you see that? He's sniffing my hide. I knew somebody was going to do that. I was waiting for the right one to say thank you. That is a pretty tough piece of leather. Oh, the other thing is if you have some really nice clothes on, be careful touching some of this stuff. Because these are everything. There's only one piece here that's really finished that won't leave marks. It'll come out with baby oil. So if you ever get a piece that leaves marks, baby oil takes forever. So how did it feel to you?
The harness itself?
Yeah.
I really like the construction of it. I also like how it looks on a body, and of course the smell.